Welcome to The Bench Has Spoken, a Survivor podcast from Bench Points Network. Each week we watch the latest episode of Survivor 49 and provide a recap, commentary, normally predictions. That might be a little different this week, and just our general thoughts on the episode. I'm Mary. This is Becca. We're longtime friends and longer time Survivor fans. And as always, Becca, would you like to kick us off with a recap?
Yes, I would love to kick us off with a recap. So this was a 3-hour episode. It was a meaty episode, which was great. Right when the episode started, it went almost, there was some strategy talk, but then it went pretty directly into the first individual immunity challenge. It was the individual immunity challenge with I'm sorry, I missed a part. There was an advantage. There was a challenge for an advantage. So there was a challenge for an advantage going into the next individual immunity challenge. And the person who won that was Sophie B. So she got an advantage going into the first individual immunity challenge. It is the top 5, which are Sophie, Sage, Rizzo, Christina, and Savannah. And Sophie took her advantage to the next individual immunity challenge. Her advantage was there was a pole with sticks on it that she had to use as a ladder, but there was a key you had to kind of jimmy up the stick. And her advantage was that her key was already halfway up. Well, that advantage turned out to not be that useful for Sophie B because Savannah came back and won her record-breaking 4th individual immunity challenge this season. So she's one of 4 women who have ever won 4 individual immunities during a season of Survivor. So hats off to Savannah for winning individual immunity and breaking a record, which was great. With that came a reward. That reward was steak and mashed potatoes, and Savannah got to pick one person to go with her. I would have bet $1 million that she would have picked Rizzo. She picked Sage. So they had a nice meal. And while they were eating steak and mashed potatoes, everybody else was back at Tribal talking shop, deciding who they thought was going to go home. And it was pretty clear it was between Sage or Christina. So they were both pleading their case. From there, they went to Tribal Council, and ultimately, Christina got the boot. They decided to keep Sage around, which was great. From there, they moved on and some more talking shop, and then pretty directly again into another individual immunity challenge. The winner of this challenge was Sophie B, which is her first challenge win. Good for Sophie. And that gave her individual immunity, guaranteeing her a spot in the top 3, which was very exciting. So she decided to take Sage with her to the top 3, and Rizzo and Savannah were against each other making fire. I've got a lot of opinions about that, but I'm trying to save my details for when we're doing discussion. And the person who won the fire making was Savannah. So Savannah won the fire making. So the top 3 were Sophie B, Sage, and Savannah. The jury talked, chatted, and deliberated, and then ultimately your Survivor 49 season winner was Savannah by a landslide.
Excellent recap as always. Yeah, we have so much to talk about.
I don't even know where to start. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I think we could do normal, just start at the beginning and slide through. I mean, typical stuff post tribal council at the beginning where everybody's reacting to what just happened and either patting themselves on the back or worrying about what the next thing that's going to happen is. So nothing to write home about there, but the almost immediate, as you like to call it, adventure challenge happened, and I don't know. I kind of it was fun, I guess, to watch, but I almost like didn't want to see it. I didn't want anyone to have an advantage at this point in the game. Like we're final 5, it felt like unnecessary. And then I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, it has to be like a little bit more exciting, I think, and a little bit more like creative. That just felt weird to me. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I the fact that it was the final five, I thought, okay, they're just let them play organically. But at the same time, anytime they're frantically running through the forest, I eat that up. I like it. I like it. I like it when they're running and searching. I love it. So I agree the placement was kind of strange, but the actual like challenge itself was fun. And I liked that the advantage was like hidden. So it wasn't just like the first person gets there wins it.
I like that.
It was still there's another layer, which put everybody on a pretty level playing field. Everybody had finished finding what they needed to find, completing their puzzle, and getting to the search spot by the time somebody found it. So I did like that aspect of the game.
I'm curious, and I think I just must have missed something, but so they each had X number of pieces that they had to find. They had to get them individually and bring them back. And it felt like they were supposed to have to search for them, but everybody just seemed to immediately run and know exactly where everything was. So I don't know if it was just that they were all in very obvious places that they would know around camp, or if there was just a lot of editing out of them searching. But that I thought was interesting. Um, and then, of course, we see Rizzo once again, cheating, if you want to call it that. I don't think it's cheating, but um, sees Savannah finish her puzzle and just immediately goes over there and copies what she did. I think it would have been beneficial to him to, after he finished the puzzle, just like destroy it and destroy hers so that they were the only two who could, or disadvantage other people, I guess. Um, and I did find it funny that, like, right when Sophie B got it out of the tree, that Christina came walking up and was like, "Hey guys."
She's moseying along like she forgot she was playing.
Yeah, I love her. It just cracked me up when she was running. I mean, everybody else is like arms pumping, jogging, and poor Christina, she's like holding up her pants, running with like the tiniest shuffling gait. And I'm sure she was just like, I don't want to lose my pants. But
I think she's probably gassed. And she did the challenges this season, the whole season, but especially this episode, were really tough on her. Like that, and I think she would say the same thing. Challenges aren't her strong suit. Honestly, they're nobody's strong suit this season.
yeah, agreed. Except for Savannah, I guess.
Yeah, Savannah and then Sophie S
Yeah.
was pretty good at challenges. Do you know in Survivor's Past when they would do the challenge where they would have keys on a ring and the ring was like all or the string was all strung out through the whole woods and they'd have to follow the string.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were going to do and I got really really excited because I think we've seen that in multiple past seasons.
Yeah, that's a fun one, I think. Any variation of that too. Like I think one of the first ones, I forget what season it was. It season two maybe? Where they had to like carry stuff all through the jungle and they were like tethered together or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that stuff is fun. That would have been a cool one.
But where they have to like work together and against each other at the same time. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, uh, Sophie B did win the advantage, but it didn't do her much good.
Mm-mm. Yeah, we pretty quickly, like you said, went into the immunity slash award challenge, as Becca calls them, and I love that. Um, and it feels like a lot of the challenges this season have had very similar elements, like, you're walking across a balance beam, going up and down something. We finally saw the mud pit. Um,
We've all been waiting for the mud pit.
yeah, I gotta say, when they have like the twisty mud pit, I don't like that.
I don't like the twisty mud pit.
It's like
Too
I
much.
think you said that the rope ones give you claustrophobia. They don't generally, but that one, I'm just like, I couldn't. It just is too much. But I was shocked by two things. I was shocked that Christina made it through first,
Yeah.
and I
She
love that she
powered
was
through that.
like spitting the mud. And we talked about this last night. Like, really wish Nicole was there to spit some water in everybody's faces at the end.
Nicole would have stuck around longer.
Yeah, I think she would have added some fun.
Nicole and Jeremiah both.
Yeah, agreed. And then the other thing that surprised me was how poorly Sophie did at that. I mean, I know she's not been like super stellar at challenges, but I expected a better showing from that.
Well, just about pure look, she looks athletic.
Yeah, Agreed. I guess there's one more thing I want to say that surprised me about the challenge. I felt like Sage was moving so slowly, and maybe it was just the perception, it wasn't the reality. But we talked about this yesterday, where it feels like a lot of the challenges and stuff, she's not going like full force effort into things. It feels like, and maybe it's a strategic, like I'm taking my time, I'm trying to be slow and steady and calm. But I just would love to see her like really have some oomph, you know?
My only thought on that is when Savannah did win, so Savannah won the first challenge. When she won and she was able to pick somebody to go with her, she said Sage has gone a really, really long time without eating.
Yeah,
So
that's
I don't know if that's why, or if you're right. If she was like, okay, well, I'm going to go for accuracy instead of speed, and that's why I'm taking my time.
no, I think you're right. That makes total sense. Hunger.
Yeah, hunger would get me. I'd be out there for 12 hours and say, I'm going home. I'm starving. Can we get McDonald's
Me
on the way
too.
home?
So
Yeah,
so hungry. I wish that if somebody quit, Jeff would just send them straight to like some random hotel in Fiji where they don't get any free food or anything, and they don't tell anybody like to feed them.
yeah, you got to stay here.
Or send
Were
them.
you surprised that she took Sage?
Um,
Savannah took
no,
Sage to the challenge.
I thought that at that point in the game, alliances didn't matter unless I don't know. I don't even know what situation. So I thought she would definitely not choose Rizzo or Sophie B because they would be her biggest threats in her mind. And so taking Sage or Christina, she could, have an excuse for why she took them and then feed someone who's not likely to beat her versus feeding someone who is. Although I still maintain that I don't think Sophie B was much of a threat. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think she genuinely did take Sage because she knew that at that point who she picked didn't matter. Maybe she was trying to be nice and respected Sage in her game or something. Um,
like a sacrificial lamb kind of thing.
but I didn't expect that she would try to feed. Definitely not Rizzo. Um, Not that that boy is ever going to win a challenge, but just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised she took Sage, but I thought there was going to be some type of like gameplay motive behind why she took Sage specifically. Like, I wonder if she's like, okay, if I win this challenge, I'm going to leave Christina with you, and you guys have to talk her into XYZ, and I'll talk Sage into XYZ. Like, I thought it was going to be like something long and drawn out, and there was going to be like a manipulative reason why, for lack of a better term, why she took Sage. But I don't get that vibe. And then they got back to camp, and Rizzo, Sophie, and Savannah were talking, and Rizzo and Sophie were saying, "We want Sage gone," and she said, "Absolutely not. I'm not writing her name down." So it was genuine, is how it made it feel.
Agreed. And it's just Savannah is so hard to read. It's so hard to know when she's being genuine and when
But
she's,
she's a reporter.
well, yeah.
That'd be funny.
I have something I don't want to forget to talk about at the end related to that.
Okay.
If we get to the end and you're like, you haven't heard anything about the reporter, ask me. I don't want to bring it up yet because it'll be getting ahead of ourselves.
We've talked, if this is your first episode of ours that you're listening to, we've talked all season about how we hate, with a capital H, when people lie about their career and they think that whatever their job is, attorney, reporter, scientist, doctor, whatever it is, they think that their job makes them more of a threat than anybody else. So they lie. Police officers always lie and say they're not a police officer. I don't care if you're a police officer. That doesn't mean you're good or bad at Survivor
You know what?
automatically.
Yeah. What would be fun is to find like a list of all the winners, and what all of their careers were, and then compare it to like people who went home first or before the merge and what their careers were, and like how
Oh,
it all factored out or factored into it. Like, were people getting voted off because of their careers, or were they getting voted off because they were making terrible decisions or physical threats or whatever?
so maybe that'll be like a sidebar podcast we can have, Survivor stats.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be cool. There is a Survivor wiki that somebody manages. I wonder if that's got anything about their careers in it.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
Actually.
yeah. Anyway, okay, so they were talking on the beach, and Savannah says, "No, it can't be Sage." And to nobody's surprise, Savannah has orchestrated this entire season. Whatever she says, they do. When she says jump, everybody says how high, and that happened again. She wanted Sage to stay, so Sage stayed. But the reason Sage stayed, allegedly, is because Christina, who hasn't done much of anything this season, can't compete in a challenge and is afraid of bugs, is apparently the most vicious fire making champion of all time.
Shocked. Just shocked. That's all I could say. I didn't remember a single time when she made a fire this season. I don't particularly, I guess, pay attention to that. But I was like so surprised. And then they did that montage, and I was so excited for her because we love Christina.
Yes, we do love Christina. I don't want that to sound like I don't like Christina.
Yeah, but it's like we love her for her personality, not for her like survivor abilities. Although she has had a lot of strategic moments, but
That nobody talks about.
yeah, exactly. But I was just so surprised to see that, but so excited for her that she got her like montage of being badass making fire because she
Yeah.
deserves a little moment in the spotlight.
And so Sage stayed, so it was down to the final four. From there, they went on to pretty quickly to the second individual immunity challenge. The way the taping was set up is it looked like Savannah was going to win and break the record. So just to clarify, she tied the record for the most individual immunity challenges ever won in a season by a woman with 4. So I think there are 3 other people who have done it. But if she would have won 5 this last challenge, then she would have been like the overall longest standing woman to ever win 5 individual immunity challenges during a season. Well, the challenge set up and it looked like she was going to win. Hands down, it looked like she was going to win. But she had her puzzle made and she was having to balance this ball on a table to try to get balls in holes. And she got her table done. She got her puzzle done. She had a crazy head start getting her balls in holes and just couldn't get her balls in the holes. And Sophie B came blazing up from way, way, way behind and just powered through that. Mary, I think I lost your audio.
Sorry, I have myself muted because my dog is making all kinds of heavy breathing noises and using the chin like this. And again, we said this before, I have a very large dog and he's an old man and he's just kind of
He
crazy.
heard a physical challenge and said,
You mean me just existing, laying on this floor? Um, I forgot. Oh yeah, we love Sophie B. I was very excited for her to win that challenge, but I also wasn't because I really wanted to see Sage win it, of course. Um, but good for her. I mean, that's going to be a good feeling and a good thing for her to carry forward. So something to be excited about. And it wasn't Savannah, so
yeah. Well, and this is the most important of all the individual immunities to win because it gave her 100% of the power. She had to pick one person she sat beside, and then she got to pick 2 people to make fire. So she pretty much named the top 3 right there, which is a ton of pressure.
but she handled it well.
Yes. Do you think she picked who she should have picked?
Hmm.
Is it mine?
Yes, because I think
Sophie B picked Sage and then had Savannah and Rizzo making fire.
that well, first of all, we talked about this last night, but we really appreciated and respected how she handled that. You know, like most of the time, people are given the opportunity to sort of plead their case. Like whoever is in that deciding position will sit down with the other people and say, okay, tell me what you want and why. Oftentimes we're seeing people saying like, this is my chance to do something big in front of the jury. I would love the chance to make fire, or I don't think I can make fire. Please pick me to sit next to you or whatever. She had none of that. She was like, I'm just going to be by myself and think about this. I'm making the choice that's right for me. I thought it was interesting and funny that Savannah was so upset about that, like crying and like, I guess I don't know her as well as I thought and all this kind of stuff. Like, as she had just told Rizzo something along the lines of, "Why would you want this to be easy?" When
Yeah.
they were talking about
When
Sage or Christina, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Savannah, and when we keep on saying we talked about this last night, we talked about it because we do TikTok
Sorry.
live during the stream of Survivor. So that's where we talked about it. And if you've not followed us on TikTok, go follow us on TikTok because we do
Yeah.
TikTok
It's fun.
lives. And I think we're pretty funny and insightful over there. So check it out. One thing we talked about, and I still stand beside, is Savannah. I know she won, and as bad as I hate to admit it, I think she deserved to win. But when she's on top, she's taunting the other players during challenges. She's telling people what to do. She's giving direction. She's got a very leadership mentality. But the second odds are not 100% in her favor, she turned around and cries and mopes and plays the victim. And I cannot stand it.
And I have a broken record on this one too, but I'll say it again. Like, if you're gonna be the villain, if you're gonna be the person who's like cocky and arrogant and manipulating everybody around you and selling yourself as a dominating player, dominating force, the decision maker, the puppeteer, whatever, fantastic, great. Good for you, and you deserve to win if you make it to the end. But you cannot be that and then also be like a crying victim when something doesn't go your way. And you also can't be crying in a confessional talking about how people don't like you when you're actively acting this way to people, you know?
You're like, because you're not likable.
Yeah.
That might
Yeah.
be why.
And she doesn't have to be likable. She won.
No.
Great. Good for her. But just don't, it's like you can't have your bread buttered on both sides. Like you can't be mean and arrogant and cocky and then also be like expecting everybody to think you're the best thing that ever happened and love you and want to be your best friend. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But if she's not in a power position, she gets uncomfy quick and panics. And you can tell. You can tell that she's like grasping for straws and flailing. And I think that's exactly what she was doing. Is she acted happy for Sophie B, but I think internally she was like, oh gosh, like I
yeah.
can't. I can't.
You,
And things were out of her control for once.
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, you know what, Mary? Can we back up just a second?
Yes.
I want to back up to the first tribal when they let Christina go. Everybody voted Christina off, so she went home, so they wouldn't have to make power against her. I didn't think that Rizzo was going to play his idol.
No. And
I
I
thought he
don't
was
know
going to
why.
take Canada.
I'm shocked. I And I think that to me, that was something that the jury would see as a negative that he played it because he didn't need to. And that says he didn't know where everybody was. He wasn't in control. He wasn't in power, wasn't confident, whatever. And it's like, there was never any discussion of anybody voting for him. It was all Christine and Sage. And, we don't see everything, we know that, but like, it just felt so weird. And I thought for sure he was just going to get up and do another crazy, like, you know what, Jeff? I swear when he said that down, I was like, that's going to be fake. It's going to be
Yeah,
fake.
you did. You did. You said, is it fake? Is it fake? Is it fake?
I was shocked.
But if anybody could get by with having a fake idol the whole season and telling everybody he had to play it last one and it expired and everything else, um, I at first I thought he was being a cocky jerk, but now I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of into it. I
Oh, go ahead.
kind of wish he would have been in the top three so we could have saw like how the jury actually felt about his shenanigans. Like they had initial facial expressions, but I can't tell if them sitting there with their mouth hung open is like entertained and excited or if it's them being like shocked and annoyed. I couldn't tell.
Sorry, my dog is making dinosaur noises.
That's good. That makes me feel like I'm on the island of Fiji.
I agree. I would love to go. I have not had any time today to do this, but I want to go back and like watch all the interviews. I'm excited to see over the next like week or two, like what we see from people on social media or in interviews of like really how they felt about everybody. But yeah, I'd be definitely interested in how people felt about Rizzo.
Because I think he's in either a love him or hate him kind of guy.
Yeah. And I think before it started, I was like, I'm gonna hate this kid after watching his like preview videos before the season. Then as we got into it, I was like, I'm all about this. This is fun, you know? And there have only been a couple times where he truly annoyed me, but I could see if I was living on a isolated beach with him without any form of entertainment and in this like serious game situation, he might annoy the crap out of
Yeah, 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 yeah. Rizgod. I think that's funny. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to see what you thought about that. I thought he was going to take it and keep it in his pocket and say,
me. You should
I
have.
manipulated the entire game with nothing but my words. Because that would have been a badass thing to do. Which he did. He still did, even though he played his idol. I think it could have gone either way, but I thought he was for sure just going to keep it um, in his pocket. All right.
Oh,
So
I think
now we
there
can
it is.
catch back up. We are at. Are we at the point? Are we at the second travel? That's where we stop.
Well, so yeah, I guess because yeah, it all happens at one time, right? Like fire. No, they do fire, then they do the final
But it's
travel, right?
all together. Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if they like went back to that, like, because they had that like whole reminiscing about the entire season thing. Do you
Yeah.
remember back in the day when they used to do like they'd have poles on the beach or something, or just like these little stations, and people would walk from one to one, and it'd be like a person or whatever. They'd
Yeah.
stand like the awkward thinking about the person sort of
But
stuff.
that was like it felt like very much like in memory of like these are our friends who have passed on to the afterlife, aka the jury. That's what it felt like a funeral montage um, for these people. Which I mean, it is what it is. If you're going to go back and do a review, go for it. But I for one, I'm like, okay, we already know who these people are. I don't need you to walk down memory lane.
Okay, sorry. I'm thinking there had to have been a night between, yeah, because the girls were sitting on the beach by themselves and they were doing like three girls on a beach,
Oh,
three
you're right.
girls.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
The only reason I remember that is because Rizzo came back without his
Yep.
mustache,
Yep. 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 So
which I
okay,
also about, but
they um, went to the tribal where Savannah and Rizzo were forced to make fire. Mind you, this entire week, Hannah's been like, I'm so bad at fire. I'm the terriblest fire. Terriblest isn't a word. The most terrible fire maker ever. I'm the worst fire maker. Don't make me make fire because I'm so bad. Liar. Do you think she knew that she could make fire?
yeah. I mean, I believe that before that day she hadn't really tried, but I mean, literally when they were showing them practicing, it was like the first time that she practiced, she got like a spark and a flame. So I was like, oh, there, we know she's gonna make it, if she gets up. I think what surprised me is well, I guess I'm not surprised because Rizzo just has not done well in any physical challenge, I don't think, but he was just really giving piss poor effort, I felt like. Everybody else is like, and he was
Yeah.
like, and he cracked me up when he leaned over to like look at what Savannah was doing.
It's like he's for sure the guy in history class that's going to look over your shoulder and try to copy your answers because he doesn't have them and he didn't study, but he's got a good personality, so you let him. That's
Yeah.
that's who Rizzo is.
hmm
I think Savannah was pissed that she had to make fire, but she had to have respected Sophie's decision. Sophie didn't have a choice.
Sophie's choice.
Sophie's
Um,
choice.
yeah, I agree. And I'm guessing she was just really pissed off in the immediately after she was rejected, not given the opportunity to plead her case to Sophie B. I think she was really mad, but I'm sure she had time to like think about it and realize that she was obviously going to do the right thing for her. Um, she was still salty, I think, when the time came, and I think also probably she was thinking, I'm doing this against Rizzo. There's no way I'm going to lose.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And I think she really played up the fact that she can't make fire, but she can.
yeah,
And she knew
probably.
she knew she could. So Rizzo went home. He didn't react as I expected him. I thought it was going to be a very emotional separation, but he seemed to be just like his normal confident self. He asked Jeff to do him the honor of snuffing his torch. And then Jeff said, Riz God. He called him Riz God. I was,
He asked you, he said, will you use my name when you stuff my nickname when you stuff my torch? And he was like, Riz God, the tribe has spoken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So he automatically moved over to the jury. One thing I cannot go on without talking about is Christina in the jury looked absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This was the most beautiful jury
Yeah.
I think that we've seen in seasons. Like they look starkly different than when they were playing, but just like beautiful, beautiful people. But Christina specifically, girlfriend, they look good.
Yeah, I agree. Um, one more thing I want to ask you before we move on to the next part is, do you think that when Rizzo and Savannah were making fire, Sophie B was like, I really hope Rizzo wins? Or do you think
Yeah.
she
Yes.
genuinely?
Because I think everybody, it was clear that nobody was going to beat Savannah.
Yeah.
And the fact that, well, we'll talk about this later on, but the jury made it evident that that was the obvious choice. I, yeah, I think she was. What would you? What,
Oh, I agree. I'm sure she was like sitting there in that moment thinking, I should have gotten rid of her when I had the chance.
yeah, yeah. Well, they should have gotten rid of.
Oh, go ahead.
No, they should have gotten rid of her and Rizzo both long, long time ago. Like neither one of them. If anybody was playing like the old seasons, neither one of them would have been sitting up.
No. And especially not both of them. Just bizarre. Anyway. So then we had down to the final three, the ladies, Sophie, Savannah, and Sage. They get to go back to their beach and have a night of they were eating, I thought. Did they get some
Yeah,
food or something?
they got a boat full of fruit, but thank God Sophie S wasn't there because she would have been like, "I didn't come all this way to eat fruit."
This is what I eat to lose weight.
Yeah, that's right.
And they have their little reminiscing about the season. They talk about it felt like it was pretty much just focused on the jury, their interactions with each person, their thoughts on each person, and then final tribal council.
We had um, broken the jury out and wrote down who we thought was going to vote for who. Mary and I were convinced it was going to be Sage. I thought Sage had a fighting chance at this, and
Yeah.
I thought at minimum it'll be really, really, really close vote. That was my prediction before they started voting.
Yeah, and I think I really up to the very end was thinking there's no way anyone could beat Savannah. But then you made a great point, I thought, which was people like I just kept thinking Savannah won all the challenges. People will vote for that. But maybe not. Like maybe people are looking at a few different things like who won challenges, who was the most strategic, who was the most holistically good player or strong player. And I think, especially, I mean, I guess now we're getting into the votes and stuff, but like, I was so shocked to see Sophie get more votes than Sage. And yeah, she like 2-1, so it's not like it was, you know, that big. But even I would have expected that if any of them were not going to get any votes, it would be Sophie, just because I. I mean, she had the knowledge is power, and that was, I mean, frankly, wasted. Like, it wasn't a
Big
power
fall.
it was a flop. Yeah. And then she did win that final challenge, but like one challenge and you've just been following along with other people the whole rest of this time. I'm just very surprised because I feel like we've seen so many people in similar situations who have done similar amounts of things or had similar empty resumes getting no votes. So I think I still am so confused about why people voted for Sophie B.
Yeah. What did you think about the Q&A from the jury when the jury was asking the top three questions?
Yeah, I think that some of them were exciting. Obviously, like Christina's, I was so pumped for.
That
I
was a
love.
power question.
Yeah,
And she knew, I liked that too because she knew the answer to that question before she even asked it.
yeah. And I'm disappointed. I
Question
mean,
was, well,
was
I'll
that
just tell the group. Her question was name a family member of every person in the jury. She asked that directly to Savannah. Savannah couldn't name one, not one.
that she could
Um,
be? Well, I know you were talking about this one person while you were. in
Yeah,
the
I know
chat.
you have a partner. I know you have kids, but she couldn't name anybody's name. But something I thought was pretty powerful is every time she would go to a person and say, "Oh, your kids, I don't know their names," Sophie B was sitting beside her, mouthing the names back to the jury. And I thought, that's a really good power play. So she was
Yeah,
saying, like, I know your wife is Elizabeth. I know your kids' names are this. I know. And I thought, like, that was her using, wasn't her turn to talk, but she was like
that's
getting like
good.
equity from the jury when she wasn't even speaking, which was cool.
Yeah, I missed that. That's really cool. That explains it more. I mean, because Christina said that she voted for Sophie because she was playing the game that she wanted to play. Sophie was playing the game Christina wanted to play.
And
So
Christina,
that
I
makes sense.
mean, played pretty similarly.
Yeah. I just don't, that just doesn't translate to votes for me, but I guess knowing that that's what Christina was looking for, sure, it almost to me is the same as why Jawan voted for Sage. Like Christina voted for the person who was closest to her in terms of like gameplay and like what she wanted to be, and Jawan voted for Sage because they were so close and had worked together and stuff. It's similar in similar vein to me. I don't think I understand why MC voted for Sophie other than I think she was just really salty about getting flipped on by Sage, but the reality is, well,
I don't understand why MC voted for Sophie either. Maybe they were close and we just, because there's a lot that we don't see. I understand why Sophie S voted for Savannah. Obviously, I understand why Rizzo voted for Savannah. I understand why Steven, I would have thought for sure went Christina.
well, he was
Or Christina
pissed.
wasn't an option. I
Sage.
thought he would have voted Sophie.
Oh,
Because
really?
Sage got him out at the end because Sage said, "Sorry, man, I didn't think I could beat you."
Yeah, I guess it's harder to for me to read people because there have been so many seasons where people are voting and that it's like I respect you, I respect your game, and I get why you had to do it, and it was a good move and whatever else, even if they were the victim of that move. But this jury, it felt like there were more people who were like,
Vengeance.
I'm pissed off that you voted me out. And so, and you know what? If we look at it as a whole, I guess it makes sense because this is the least strategic season we've had, right? Like these people were not out here to play this game in a,
No, they're emotional. They didn't want to get their feelings hurt. I'm
yeah.
shocked that nobody this season voluntarily exited besides
I forget
George.
what we think at the beginning. We thought Christina might leave. We thought Nicole might leave.
Yeah.
Was there anybody else? I can't remember.
Those two specifically, we thought they might leave on their own accord. But Annie, do you remember
Mm,
her?
yeah.
Um, she wasn't there long. Annie.
Mm-mm.
Okay, who left pre-merge? Annie, Jake, Jeremiah, Nicole,
Matt,
Matt. Oh, Matt.
Jason.
Jason. That's right, 6 of them. RIP.
I guess you know what? If I look at that list, I'm not surprised that any of them left pre-merge.
No, no. I think it made a lot of sense. At the end of voting, Sage got 1 vote, Jawan. Sophie B got 2 votes, and Savannah got everybody else. So by a landslide, she won season 49. I do think she deserved it. I do. I was rooting against her for a handful of reasons, but one of them being is there was a leak that said she won like months ago, and I thought that how terrible, awful would it be if we already knew the winner and we're spending all this time and effort watching this whole season? And I just wanted it to be wrong so bad that anybody besides Savannah is who I was rooting for
Yeah,
because I wanted to have like that element of surprise.
I agree. And do you think that what happened this season will have an impact on future seasons? Because, okay, let's think about this. Earlier seasons, nobody knew who the winner was. Like those ballots were locked, right? And it wasn't, they were read for the first time at the live show very early on. So maybe we'll see that again. I mean, obviously 50's done and dusted. Who knows what they did with that? It seems like it's going to be a shit show anyway, but
What what Okay, all right. Let's wrap up 49 and then we'll talk about 50.
Well, I have
Um,
one thing I want to mention
yes,
before
okay,
we go.
yes.
So, one thing that was crazy to me is that when Christina asked that question about naming all the players, if Savannah is an investigative reporter, how could she not remember anybody's names? Like, you would think that would be a gift that she would have to not only remember situations and the chronology of things, but also like people and faces and stuff like that. Like, how could she not, unless she just wasn't paying any attention at all, did not care at all.
Well, that's an extremely good point, and it's not like that she met these people over dinner and then that's the only conversation she had with them. You were out there with them for 20 something days with nothing to do, nothing. They didn't
And there
have
were
any.
so many swaps. I mean, I'm trying to think if there was anyone that she would not have been at camp with for multiple days to like learn about them. Um,
But even if there was like one or two people she didn't know, a family member, she didn't know a single
this,
person's family member's name.
and
She just didn't give a shit.
this, I guess it just must have been MC and Savannah, or I'm sorry, MC and Christina who were really focused on like the either be a good person, be social, be caring, or mad because everybody else seemed to not care that she didn't know any of the names. But I
To
don't know.
be honest,
If you were sitting there as a jury member and someone that you spent that much time with did not know like your husband's name, how would you vote for them still, or would that impact your vote at all?
I don't know. I truly don't know. I think if I went with someone, no, if I went with knowing who I was going to vote for, nothing they were going to say during the interview process would change my mind. Does that make sense? Because that's just lip service at that point, all of it. And yeah, it would be kind of hurtful that somebody didn't know. And it does prove that Savannah's relatively disingenuous with her relationships if you can't remember anything about anybody. But does that mean she's a crappy survivor player? No.
Yeah. Um, the other question that I thought, sorry, I think we're kind of going backwards in time here, but one more thing I wanted to mention about the questions or ask your opinion on. So I can't remember who it was now, but somebody asked them to provide their why and
Oh,
then
Juwan.
Jawan, and then say whether they thought they should take that into consideration. And I thought that was interesting because I personally don't want to know the why. I don't want to hear like the sobby stories or the background or like why someone thinks that something happened in their personal life makes them more worthy than somebody else of winning. Um, but I thought it was interesting in telling what people's question or answers were. I felt like Sophie B came in with like a personal touch with her grandma and like she wanted to do this for her. And Sage had, I think, a friend who had passed away and, some more personal things like that she was processing. And then Savannah, it was just more like all about her and her personal journey. And it was just kind of weird. But I guess like that tells us what we need to know about
Well, par
Savannah.
for the course. Like Savannah cares a
Right?
lot about Savannah. Um,
Yeah.
and it got her far and got her $1 million. It is what it is. Something I wanted to talk to you about is Sage's social media presence. So Mary has done a beautiful deep dive on things, and her social media, unlike any of the other cast members, I keep calling them cast members. What should I call them? Players.
Players, cast members, castaways.
Castaways. Unlike anybody else, Sage has been private, and you have to request a follower, and then she approves people as she goes. But that's interesting that she's been private.
So I had a lot of theories on this. I won't go into all of them, but she was actually public until this week. Because one our
Oh,
Instagram account, I was able to look at her profile and follow her, or was it? Maybe not. Maybe she just accepted it. I don't know. But I just know that like at one point I looked at her profile and I don't think we were following her and she was public. But she had posted like two things the entire season about Survivor. One was at the beginning where she was like, Survivor was such a small part of my life. I'm not going to talk about it right now. Um, just remember to be kind to each other and that what we say on social media matters. Like stuff like very very thoughtful things. It was just like a text thing on her Instagram. And then she had sort of like a follow-up thing to that later on. But, yeah, I think what intrigued me the most is like everyone else, seems like they're trying to cash in on their time on Survivor by building a social media brand, getting a lot of followers, probably getting sponsorships, and good for them. I'm not judging that
Yeah.
at all. I would do that too. But I thought it was very interesting that she didn't. And I think it really, to me, goes to show like her character and like she came on to play this game and she said that she's like, I just thought it would be interesting to play Survivor and to see what it was like. She's not, trying to make it her whole personality or her whole persona. And she made it all the way to the final three and still was like radio silent about it the whole season. I respect that. I can't put into words why I do, but I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So now that we know Savannah 150, and it seemed like a very, very lax vibe. After it was all over, everybody seemed kind of relieved, and they were eating pizza and drinking champagne and really just like enjoying each other. And that was fun to see them in like all of them in like a lighthearted atmosphere. So now we have it officially confirmed that Rizzo and Savannah are going to be on season 50. Season 50 preview. Um, it felt hectic, no?
It did. It's chaos. I mean,
I
I'm
just
excited about the people to some extent, not all of them, but
yeah.
then once they start this business about like celebrities getting involved and all these crazy twists and
Well,
stuff and advantages.
I saw something. Okay, so it says that America is going to get to vote on um, people's immunity. Okay, and then I saw something else today that said there are going to be hidden immunity challenges all over the whole country. And so in all 50 states, there's going to be immunity challenge, and somehow the people that find those can have some sort of virtual play in Survivor. And then Mr. Beast popped on the screen, and I thought, just too much is going on. Too much is going on because everybody
Yeah.
on social media and everybody online is saying, we want the old Survivor. We want the old Survivor. The old Survivor was simple. There were like, we knew we were going to get a pre-merge meal. We knew we were going to get an auction. We knew we were going to get letters from home. We knew when the idols expired. It was simple and
Yeah. 39
here,
days.
yeah. And this one, two tribes, it was like very easy to understand. And now there's so many like switches and levers and behind the scenes. And now there's a celebrity. Like we don't need all that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a naysayer before it even starts. I am excited. I'm super excited to see Colby and Sari, and other people too, but specifically Colby and Sari, play again. But I hope they get the opportunity to play their game and not just some weird like AI version.
Yeah. I can't even think. It reminds me of like when people could first make their own websites and you could put all these random ass things on it, like,
Like MySpace.
yeah, like flashing pictures and music playing in the background and like links to different things and like
Wait, there's more.
and just like random crap made by a fifth grader. Like that's what this reminds me of. It's like too much. It's like trying to just do everything they think would be cool and like hit all the celebrities that different people watching Survivor might care about. It's just weird. I don't like
It
it.
feels like they like brainstormed and then that's all. They're like, we're done. That's it.
All
Every
these
idea.
ideas, have to do them
Yeah,
all.
yeah. Let's do them
I
all.
okay.
No, I don't know. That's the only thing I have to say.
I think I have so many thoughts on 50, but for that specifically, I was happy with the fact that they let the fans vote on some things. That would be enough excitement. That's interaction. Like, let us tell you, Survivor, what we want to see, and give us that. You know, and then I'm a little salty about some of the people that got chosen because I think like too many people from 48. I don't want to see a bunch of winners. I don't want to see the winners from this season that we just watched immediately in the next season. I mean, well, I don't get representation because it's not like every season had people, represented here, so they didn't have to pick
I'd be
people from
curious the
this
thought
season.
process behind who they picked. And I would also be curious to know if it's hard. Well, it has to be because some of the people from the old era are old. Like, I know
Or
I don't want to be, yeah, I don't want to be like rude or hateful, but like, if I'm 50 years old, do I want to go run around an island? Probably not.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it was
I'm about,
hard
I
to
mean,
find a tree.
70s at this point too.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's true.
yeah, it's weird to me. I'm
I'm not
excited that we know.
excited.
Yeah, and there are going to be some people who are strategic, which is exciting. And one of the other things that I heard about happening for 50 is we are seeing, if you look at the cast list, a lot of people from the same season who played together are coming back. But my understanding is that they're going to be separated out in some way, or they're not going to be able to play together. And I don't think they know that going into it. I think they potentially either knew who the other people were, or, when they get to Ponderosa, they might see the people they know and get excited. But then it's going to be like a twist that they're not going to be together. So that, I mean, those things are interesting enough. We don't have to add like Mr. Beast and um crazy chaos stuff in. I don't like
Yeah.
that. But
No.
maybe it'll
No.
be better. Maybe we're complaining about how boring this season is, and I feel like 50 will be a way overcorrection and like a
Yeah, they're
swing
like
the other.
action, 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 and then there's a bomb, and then there's James Bond, and then like okay, okay, all right,
The
yeah,
secret
no,
of the cast.
the secrets of life past. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I want to ask you one more question about 50, um, as we're wrapping up here. Who are you most excited to see, and who are you assuming might be a winner, or who do you think would be like the your preferred winner, I guess?
Okay, the person I'm most excited to visually see is Colby because he's a hottie. Always has been, always will be. Cutie patootie, my survivor crush, is Colby and Woo. Those two are so Colby. But to see play the game, Suri. And Suri has never won. Suri has always played like a badass. Suri has always been just a killer, killer, killer force. She deserves to win. She deserves to win. That's who I think. What do you think?
Um, I think as far as like who I'm excited to see, I'm looking at the list because I don't want to miss anybody in this consideration.
I think I
I'm
know yours.
excited for you.
Yeah.
I just think he's chaotic in a fun way, and just like the chaos from tribal councils that he creates. And I know that maybe we think differently on that because I know you're like, when you get to tribal, you just want to like get to voting and get somebody out of there. But I don't mind it, especially when people are, you know, being sneaky and flip-flopping and stuff, have somebody there calling everybody out on their shit. I love it. I don't know how far he's gonna make it, but I love that he's gonna be back. Um, I would be cool with Suri. I agree with all of your points. I think I really like Charlie, and I really wished
Oh
that he
yeah.
had 46. So I think the other person I would pick to hopefully win would be Charlie.
I thought you were going to say
Um,
Ozzy.
hmm.
Hmm. I knew you were going to say Q, but I thought you were going to say Ozzy and Q. That was my prediction of who you. I also like some newer players, so I like Genevieve. I think you and I have differing opinions on Genevieve. Emily.
Tiffany and Emily, I like. I'm not excited about Kyle and Camilla coming
No,
back.
no.
I feel like it's supposed to be, but you know, maybe it was too recent. Maybe I just wanted to see like more older people back
I
on.
think that's what it is. But I'm just excited to see the clash of the game styles between old and new
Yeah,
era.
yeah, it'll be fun. And I am very excited to see, we got to vote on all these things. I'm excited to see how they play out in the game. Like, will they get rice? How much will they get? Will they get fire? I like early season they had to boil their own water and they didn't have fire. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Well, those people were like dying, literally.
Uh, do you think that will get an auction in 50?
We have to get an auction. I'm pissed we didn't get an auction this season.
Oh my gosh, what if
I've
they ruin the auction by having like some random celebrity come in to do it? Like what if, I don't know, like Jack Black comes in and does the auction?
Regis Philbin. Someone. Is he alive?
He's
Oh, he's
dead.
dead.
Ryan,
Regis Philbin. from
He's
the
like the
grave. Yeah.
um
Kathy Ripa, Kelly Ripa. Um, I'm trying to think. Barbara Walters. I just want
she
somebody that's. Oh,
passed away.
I need to pick people that are not. My 3-year-old calls graves rock parties, and I need to pick people that are not currently residing at a rock party too.
You know what I could get behind? Instead of having celebrities come in, like people like survivor celebrities, like people who are not playing, like get Rob in there, get Parvati in there, maybe even throw Russell in or Rupert, like
Russell.
get old school people who everybody knows and loves and well, maybe doesn't love, but like they're iconic in some way
Yeah,
to do a special thing. I think that would be fun. I hope we'll get to see some of those types of things.
I hope so too. I think that there'll be some good, like, heartwarming twists and like throwback things for sure. But I hopefully it's not overpowered by these like virtual twists. I get it, but also like it almost feels like there should be Survivor, which is pure, pure, pure Survivor, and then there should be like another show that's like a more interactive Farmville kind of
Right.
version
Or
of
could you
Survivor.
do, a virtual thing that they're doing
Oh, I think
to
mine froze.
drum up interest?
I got you now.
Or- Okay. Just like you want to like we have this pure version like you said, but then there's an at-home version that's just
Yeah.
for, you know, and maybe tied into the game, but it doesn't impact the game and it's not impacted by the game or celebrity. I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah, no, no. I think that that would make a whole lot more sense. But we'll see. And maybe we'll love it. Maybe we'll get into 15 and say, oh, this is kind of fun.
yeah,
We'll
I
see.
can't
A
wait.
lot to talk about. We're still going to continue to put out episodes even in between seasons. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about and a lot of throwback content. But thank you guys so much for watching. Season 49 was a blast. And this is our first season doing podcasts and social media. And I can speak for both of us when I say we have had such a good time and we appreciate everybody like listening and playing along and interacting with us. It's been great.
Yes, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
Gavin, you want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.